Hey guys, Jack from Half Chrome. Today I've got the Autel Evo. We're going to take a look at the Evo and how it stacks up against some comparable drones like this DJI Mavic 2 Zoom and others. Stick around. First, let's talk about what this Evo is. Now, it's been out for a while, a little bit over a year now, and upon initial release, people were complaining about the firmware having some glitches. Now, I can assure you that Autel has worked those out. This is a pretty fantastic alternative to the Mavic. Now, we've done a complete in-depth test of this guy versus the Mavic 2 Zoom, Mavic 2 Pro, and Mavic Air if you're looking for that sub 1000 alternative. I'm going to throw it over to Chris to explain what we've done.
Question is, how does the camera on the Evo stack up from a spec and a performance standpoint? We did a lot of comparisons. We used the Drone DJ test chart here. We got it up in the air, did some 4K video, did some photographs, max resolution on everything, to really see if the Evo holds a place and really can stand up with these guys.
Thanks, Chris. Alright, so that, it turns out, is going to be a whole nother video, lots of information on just the camera and video quality of these drones. But let's talk about this. And really, it is a really nice drone. This camera is fantastic, and if you shoot in 4K, this may be the quadcopter that you want. Now, the Mavic 2 drones are limited to 4K at 30 frames per second. This guy can actually shoot 4K at 60 frames a second. Let's take a look at some of that. I'm actually going to slow it down half speed, so we're looking at it at 30 frames a second, slow motion, kids running, looks pretty darn slick. Now, I typically don't shoot in 4K because of the giant file size, and not everybody really needs 4K. 1080 is pretty much good enough. But if you like 4K, this may be the quad for you. Now, the Autel does have all of those intelligent flight modes that you would want: orbit, waypoints, follow me. There are 3 different tracking modes for follow me. And I tested them, and they work about as well as DJI would. None of that stuff is perfect, so I'm not going to tell you that it is, but it is good enough. There are also 3 different flight speeds or flight modes with the Evo here. We have standard, we have precision, and then you have ludicrous. Now, ludicrous is, like it sounds, ludicrously fast, and that's for getting from one spot to another, not really for shooting video. I highly recommend you shoot in precision mode. Now, it's going to slow this drone down a little bit, but you're not going to get any props in the shots. Now, in standard mode on high winds or pitching forward a lot, you can get some propellers in the frames, and you just don't want to do that. So that is a negative. We can solve that by flying in precision, and if you're trying to get really nice shots, I recommend precision anyway. Other things you're going to want to know is, what sort of flight time do I get? Well, you're going to get about 30 minutes of flight time, realistically just shy of that. And one thing that's nice on the remote, which is a real bonus, the remote will tell you how many minutes left of flight time you have, not just a battery percentage. So that is actually a much more useful metric, if you ask me. Now, when it comes to range, this thing has a range of 7,000 meters or 4.3 miles. That's pretty darn good. It is shy of the 8,000 meters that the Mavic 2 boasts, but really, honestly, people aren't flying these things that far away, or probably shouldn't be. And it's all about signal strength, and the signal strength was really good on this drone. Now, this remote is actually super nice. You can see I got a picture on the screen of what my Evo sees, and that is really nice in case you forget your smartphone, or as I did once, the cable to connect your smartphone, you can still see what you're seeing. You can actually rotate between that and the useful information that you might need. Now, it doesn't have a zoom like the Mavic 2 Zoom does, at least optical zoom, but there is an option to digitally zoom, so if you're doing inspections or things like that, it's actually a really nice feature. Some people are saying, yeah, DJI makes a smart controller where you can get a screen and see without having to connect your smartphone as well, but that controller is going to cost you an extra $750. Right? The Mavic 2 drones are already more expensive, with the Zoom being about $1,200 and the Pro being about $1,500. Add another $750 to that, gosh, we've already broken the $2,000 barrier. You get this remote with the Evo for $999. that is a substantial difference. All right, I'm gonna put these guys on the bench and do a quick breakdown of these and unfold them so you can take a look at how they compare physically as well as some of those other specs.
All right, so you can see I have it here on the bench right next to the Mavic. It actually is a tiny bit skinnier. It's a tiny bit smaller. It actually stands taller because of these little legs here, which is a nice thing. Gets it up out of the grass a little bit more than the Mavic does. But again, really, they're pretty comparable in terms of size. Here we have the two remotes for you to look at. I really like the bright LCD screen that you're going to get on this. And like I said, I can actually show the video from the drone on this remote. That is not something you can do with the DJI remote. The buttons are well laid out. We've got a wheel for the menu, a wheel for the gimbal, photo and video, and there's even some buttons on the back. We look at the DJI remote, just a standard LCD screen, nothing color about it. Again, you can get basically the same functionality out of a DJI remote if you want, but you're going to have to pay another $750, right? So you can see it's connecting, but not color. Not that the color screen is necessary, but it is kind of a nice little bonus. And we'll show you how they unfold. First, the Autel. We're going to start, it's just straightforward and straight back, right? You don't have to unfold the props. The drone will do that for you right before it takes off. And then the Mavic here, we're going forward, and then these flip back. And you do have to do both of those drones in the correct order, otherwise you're going to have to start over. But yeah, they're pretty comparable in terms of size. The DJI drone does have more obstacle avoidance sensors and cameras on the sides. You only get the front and the rear IR. Front cameras, and then bottom we have sonar and cameras. So that's a little bit different. So if you're thinking about folding drones, these are probably the two that I would kind of think about looking at. You got the Mavic 2 Zoom, which I recommend over the Pro. We'll talk more about that when I get into all those comparisons. And then you got the Autel Evo. It's your best drone checking in under $1,000.
Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video on the Autel Evo, and remember to check back for information about how this compares video and camera-wise to those other Mavic drones that I've talked about. Hey, if you have any questions or comments, hit us up down below in the comments. I love to hear from you guys, and I love answering questions and interacting with our viewers. Make sure you click that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check us out on halfcrone.com. Good luck and happy flying.